With a bye week behind us, time to talk LSU. He's Chris Landry. I'm Dave Hooker. This is Chalk Talk, brought to you by the Mattress Place. The Mattress Place is phenomenal. No gimmicks, 30 to 70% off each and every day. So it's Tennessee LSU. Let's break it down, especially on one side of the ball that I find very intriguing. Like, subscribe, and listen. And you can follow us at offthehooksports.com and our YouTube channel on Off the Hook Sports. So let's start with LSU's defense. Chris, if people didn't know before the Auburn game that LSU was able to pull off the win, they've got a pretty good pass rush, those Tigers.
They do, and obviously pass rush when Robbie Ashford tried to escape and led to the scoop and score fumble, it really turned that game around. The pass rush is very good. The edge rush in particular is very good. They can get after it. Now they did not do a really good job in coverage against Auburn, and I think a lot of it was they didn't respect Auburn's passing game, and Robbie Ashford looked like he was going to win the Heisman the first half against LSU. Um, they did a very good job in coverage, mixing things up against Mississippi State. So I think this is going to be probably the most complete defense that Tennessee's faced all year. I think you'll see them mix things up in coverage a little bit effectively and challenge Tennessee. And they do a really good job of playing the ball in coverage, except for giving up some big plays early against. They were just out of position on a couple of plays against Auburn, but I think they'll be prepared and will provide Tennessee some challenges. But at the end, defending this Vol offense and all its components is going to be quite the challenge. And so I think there's only so much this defense can do. But I think kind of stopping the run with a base look and having maximum guys in coverage, that's what they're going to try to do against this Vol defense, against this Vol offense with their defense. And we'll see if they can do a better job and play more like they did against Mississippi State than Auburn. That'll determine the difficulty that the Vols will have or the lack thereof.
Give me some of those names up front that are impressive for the pass rush that LSU provides, because we all know the big guy at the end, but there's more than just him.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I think that if you're looking at the players on the team, BJ Ojolari is the guy there. I mean,
Right.
he's the best guy there. He's certainly the one that it causes the most difficulty when you look at the entire group up front. The guy that they missed a good bit was Mason Smith early, and having injuries there, but they're just really loaded with guys up front that can rush the passer. They do a really good job with being able to set the edge in the run game, but their ability to come off the edge is really what's key there. So they've got a lot of young guys that they've played that have been really successful for them. The back end is pretty talented. They've got guys that can make plays in the secondary that are very good as well. And now obviously Sevian Banks had the injury and is going to be out for a while. He was the young man in the game that was carted off, and by the way, he's doing well. But they've got a really good group of guys that can get after it.
Where does BJ Ojolari, a defensive end, linebacker, edge rusher, whatever you want to call him nowadays, because we go back and forth with those terms, but as far as a pass rusher off the edge, where does he rank among the best in the nation, you think?
Oh, he's in that very short list. He's special, and he is going to be really good at the next level. The edge rush obviously plays in a stand up two in a 2 point stance, but he can put his hand in the ground as well. He can rush it. He can close. He can make plays in pursuit. He is very disruptive. He's the guy that you've got to slide your protection his way, and if you don't, he can be very, very disruptive. I mean, I think he's in that group that I wouldn't put him. Will Anderson is great. I wouldn't put him ahead of him. But if you're taking a short list of guys, he'd be in that group, and I'd put him in that category of guys that are going to be impact players at the next level.
Talking LSU's defense and what they will present against Tennessee, brought to you by the Mattress Place. The Mattress Place is veteran owned, Marine Corps veteran owned, as a matter of fact. They're so easy to find there on Chapman Highway. That's just right down the road from downtown, right down the road from campus as well. And if you want to save on a mattress 30 to 70% off, then you have to go to the Mattress Place. Same quality mattresses you'll find elsewhere, no gimmicks, not at all. That's the Mattress Place. They are fantastic. Over 225 five-star Google reviews. That means something. BJ Ojolari, who you mentioned, if you're Tennessee, do you find different ways to help out? You talk about slide protection and that sort of thing. Do you run at him? You've been a coach. How do you attack what is, I would imagine, LSU's best defensive player by far?
Well, obviously, you don't want to run outside. You don't want to escape the pocket. That's okay. Tennessee doesn't do that. Step up in the pocket, deliver the ball, uh, create a clean pocket. You got to be careful. So Ojulari plays what they call the jack linebacker, which basically they'll move him around, but they'll play him in a stand-up position. They'll play him down some, get close to the line of scrimmage. So when he's near the line of scrimmage, I think you obviously want to force him wide and you step up in the pocket. And obviously, you've got to be really good with being able to side adjust with some of those routes. The ball might have to come out a little quicker. But Ali Gay is effective on the other side. Jacqueline Roy at nose tackle can get upfield. Nikki Wingo is really good. Taiji Hill, a freshman, can play. They've got some really good. Quincy Wiggins is another freshman. So they've got, and Savion Jones, who's Ojulari's backup. They've got some guys that can step up and make play. Mike Jones is really good. So what you have to do is, I think, if you want to run, you've in this spread set, you basically want to get him going upfield, which what I think Matt House is going to do, the defense coordinator at LSU, is kind of mix up the pressures, mix up the coverages. I think they'll play a lot more coverages. The thing about Ojulari is he's really good in coverage.
Yeah.
He can drop and really be disruptive across the middle. So I think this is going to be real interesting to see, because this is what we need to see is how can you slow down Tennessee's offense? If you can find a way to slow down Tennessee's offense, they become an average team at best. Tennessee's offense, it's a light of fire. And if you slow it down, Dave, you know this. You can slow it down for 3 quarters, but if they get a 4-series stretch, Tennessee's offense, it's like 28 points and it's like nothing. I mean, they can get it going. So that's going to be fun to see how effective they can do it. They did a great job against Mississippi State. Mississippi State's offense is a different style than Tennessee's offense. The tempo, the route concepts are a little bit different. What is different in terms of the pass scheme is Tennessee has predetermined routes, whereas for Mississippi State, for people to understand, they don't call a route in the huddle. They basically, it's a concept, and it's the job of the receiver to decide what route he's going to run based on the coverage. So what Matt House did very well against Mississippi State is he gave them pre-snap looks to bait them into a certain coverage look pre-snap. So they ended up running, quote unquote, the wrong route because they changed their coverage post-snap. That's going to be less effective against Tennessee because there's a lot of predetermined stuff. So fooling them won't be the issue here because Tennessee is going to run what they want regardless, and they'll make the adjustments from the sidelines as they see fit. So the key is going to be how can they hold up in man coverage, because they're going to probably play more man coverage than they did against Mississippi State, because Mississippi State likes to run a lot of crossers, Tennessee not so much. So LSU, they play a lot of man. Will Tennessee be comfortable working the crossers, which I think that's what they need to do against man coverage? Will they mix it up? I think this is going to be a fascinating schematic matchup when Tennessee has the ball in this LSU defense. But I definitely give the edge to Tennessee's offense.
When I think about LSU, I'm gonna go way back. I think of defensive backs over 20 years. that are just fantastic. It's DBU. It reminds me of when Tennessee was wide receiver U, going back to Alvin Harper and Carl Pickens and all those guys. It still sticks. But sometimes those are antiquated. And when you look at this secondary, is it still DBU or is there a DB dip?
Well, it doesn't have the Patrick Petersons, the Tyron Matthew types, but there's some really good ones in there. Richardson, Kobe Richardson, good. The Jarek Bernard Converse is really good. Greg Brooks is really good. Seven Banks, which I'm again going to assume is going to be out. Sage Ryan at safety is really good. So they still can play. They still can run. It's not. It is a dip though, relative to what you normally consider them, but they still are probably better. Um, I think comparable to what Florida put on the field this year, maybe a tad better. Um, but outside of that, probably as good a secondary they've seen thus far this year. Um, they're going to see better as the year goes along.
The mattress place right there on Chapman Highway, the mattress place, man, 30 to 70% off each and every day. That's no gimmicks. It's Marine Corps veteran owned, and they have over 225 five-star reviews on Google. So you know their quality. You know they have great prices. Why are you not going to the mattress place? Go there now. Tell them Off the Hook Sports sent you. And just a couple of miles away from downtown. You think Chapman Highway that's far away? It's not. It is close. It is close to campus as well. So hit that subscribe, like, and share button, and we can continue to be a part of your SEC and Tennessee football coverage. Chalk Talk brought to you by the Mattress Place.